Greetings, YouTube. So, a white nationalist group in Arkansas calling itself the Return to the Land is attempting to create a whites-only community. And they're attempting to use guidelines in the law that they believe will allow them to skirt the Fair Housing Act, which is all about preventing segregation when it comes to housing. And these people aren't subtle about their belief systems. One of them, while being interviewed before a picture was taken in their office, took a copy of Mein Kampf off their shelf, turned it around so you couldn't see the spine in the photo. Now, if you have a book in your office that will signal to the world that you are a Nazi, maybe you're a Nazi. All right? Now, I don't actually own a copy of Mein Kampf. Do I have a digital copy somewhere? I'm not positive. I picked up an entire lot of books off of, was it Project Gutenberg, I think? So maybe it's in there. I don't know. It was like 10,000 volumes. So maybe it's in there. I don't know. But I have never purposely attempted to get a copy of Mein Kampf. I don't really want to read it. I don't. But these people are saying, have been quoted in different posts on social media as saying things they want all the brown people, all the browns gone. And that immigration should never have been open to anyone that wasn't from Europe. And that the people from Africa have a base nature. And that they're animal-like. And that only the peoples of Europe are made in the image of God. Even though Christ himself was a brown man. I don't know how they square that particular circle, but I'm sure that they have some definition in their head that works for them. But no matter what they say, it won't change the fact that Jesus was a brown man. Yep. I don't care how much you don't like that. That's the truth. And your white nationalism, by extension, would exclude Jesus himself from your community. Because I'm sure that these folks are all Christians. I'll use finger quotes on that, because I've never met a red cap that was actually a Christian. I've met red caps that call themselves that, but because they're red caps, by definition, they can't be Christian. Because they don't love their neighbors, they don't welcome them into their communities, they don't make sure that they are fed and taken care of, they don't make sure that the sick are healed, and that the ignorant are educated. They don't do anything that, about helping their neighbors that Jesus extolled, and in many numerous quotes from the Bible, says is very important. They don't do those things. They just pick and choose the things from the Bible that allow them to be discriminatory to anyone that they don't like. And this group in Arkansas is no different. They're just trying to find legal loopholes that will allow them to pull this off. Now, I don't think these legal loopholes are going to stand up. But then again, we have a Nazi regime in America right now. So if they time those cases correctly, because they're going to get sued, correctly, maybe they can get that, maybe the current Supreme Court, who seems to be wholly in agreement with the Nazi regime, will let them do what they're doing. I don't know. They're trying to expand into other states. In the article I'm going to link to is also going to talk about some other groups that have tried to do the same thing. In fact, there's even one in Maine here in New England. And it's just baffling to me that you are so fragile that you cannot tolerate living in a world that won't admit to you that white people are the only ones that exist. These people won't agree with you because white people are a minority group on the planet. They always have been, and they always will be. And you just have to kind of accept that. I'm not scared of that fact. I'm not scared of the fact that eventually white people will be a demographic minority in America. I may even live to see that. And I'm not scared by that because I'm not a bigot. And one of the things they say in the article is that they have couched their enemies as being organized Jewish people that are all out to get them. And that anyone who's speaking out against them is obviously part of that, Jewish cabal that's been trying to undermine their actions to create a community of white segregation. I'm not Jewish. I'm a pagan, and I oppose your efforts. And you're a white nationalist, and you're Nazis, and you're horrible human beings. And I hope the law stomps on you like a 500-pound barbell. I really do. Um, but you're terrible. You are the worst that we have in America. And I hope that your children will someday never speak to you ever again.